That's right. Just in one scene, Oriko destroyed all of Miraculous' lore and rules. And in this video, we will explain you why.
Ya llegamos.
Y esto es...
Al Preli. Marinette gets very nervous when Alia discovers her looking at her ladybug. This is because that night they are both having a sleepover, so Marinette gets distracted and stops thinking about the fact that Gabriel has all the Miraculous, but it's clearly not working.
We can see the crack in the glass that Gabriel made in the episode Risk.
We can see the page of the Miraculous of the Dragon that appeared briefly in the episode Gabriel Agrest. And you know what this means. It's deciphering time. This time, surprisingly, they are not just random letters. Already translated says a bunch of names and words. We looked up the names but found nothing, although I assume they are members of the Miraculous crew.
It seems that Gabriel finally decides to use the overpowered Rooster Miraculous that grants him any power he wants. However, Ladybug's plot armor is more powerful, and so a series of rules are explained to us that make this Miraculous
utterly useless!
However, the rules they brought up don't make any sense. So you will have to forgive us, but we will be here a while explaining all this mess. To begin with, we must clarify that Oriko is telling the truth. Let's remember that Kwamis cannot lie.
I thought the Kwamis had to tell the truth.
In addition, what Oriko says, Thomas Astruc had already said it before on Twitter.
That's not a power, that's a wish!
Couldn't Hawkmoth just use the rooster and ask that his power be to grant a wish he desires? Grant a wish, wish. Flying, power. See the difference? For these reasons, we believe that this scene is the show explaining to us how the Rooster Miraculous works. Okay. Clarify that? Now let's get into the rules.
The first rule is that Oriko cannot give the powers of other Miraculous.
What?
First, and this observation was made by Pierotto35 while we were analyzing the episode live on Twitch, thank you very much. This rule makes no sense because if it were true, Oriko would not be able to grant any power to its bearer. Let's remember that each concept that exists in the universe has a Kwami and a power. That's why there are a lot of Miraculous boxes. So every possible power you want to ask Oriko will already be occupied by a Kwami and an existing concept, so there will be no more powers available for Oriko to use.
Second, we have already seen from the first season and to date that Nuru and Dusu do replicate the powers of other Kwamis, such as the Akumas and Sentimonsters from Antibug, Copycat, Volpina, Sentibug, Miracular, Timebreaker, Time Tagger, and probably in the future in the episode Determination, because according to the trailer, the Akumatized woman is going to give life to the statues of other heroes, and surely these figures will use their respective powers.
Third, okay, let's say, for some reason, Oriko is a weak Kwami, and that's why Nuru and Dusu can replicate powers, Dusu even with a damaged Miraculous. In that case, Gabriel can still win, because he also has Nuru in his power, so he can easily self-accumatize to give himself time travel powers, as the Butterfly Miraculous can do, like Timebreaker and Time Tagger, and carry out his plan without Oriko's nor Fluff's help.
And fourth, in fact, Oriko has already copied powers from other Kwamis. In the Season 4 finale, he used the power of multiplication to multiply the Lucky Charm. And let's remember, that is the power of the Mouse Miraculous. Now, some will probably say, well, the mouse multiplies the bearer while the rooster multiplies an object. They are different powers.
And to that, I have two counter-arguments. If we're going to say that those are two different powers, then Gabriel could tell Oriko not to open portals to the past like Fluff does, but instead transport objects to the past. That power is not taken by any Kwami as far as we know. That way he could teleport his USB to the past and end of the show.
And second, let's remember that Kwamis can use their powers to their fullest potential. Black has the power of destruction, and a little touch can cause tragedies, so the mouse has the power of multiplication without the restrictions that a holder has. Yes, a hero can only use the multiplication power on themselves, but in theory, the mouse could use it either way, on itself or other objects.
The second rule is that they can only grant powers, not wishes. Given this, first, the line between what is a wish and what is a power is not very clear. We say this because it seems very arbitrary that the power to locate Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous is considered a wish, but the power to score a goal whenever he kicks the ball, which was the power that Mark used in his debut as a hero, is not considered a wish.
Second, this is not really an impediment since it's just a semantic problem. Gabriel could simply rephrase his sentence. Instead of saying, I want the power to locate Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous, he could ask for the power to locate any Miraculous, which is in fact the same power as Suhan's staff, and said it that way should be considered a power.
And the third rule is that you can grant powers that interfere with the Miraculous magic, which is strange because we have seen how other Miraculous can do it. And we have several examples of this. The cataclysm that Cat Noir gave Gabriel in this episode interferes with the magic of the Miraculous to protect their holders with the magical suits. Ladybug's purification power interfered with Nuru's magic to accumatize butterflies. Cat Noir's wouldn't be able to destroy Carapace's shields with his cataclysm, and literally, Shupu's power is to interfere with the powers of others, including Kwami's.
Still, taking all these rules into account, Gabriel could have asked to have healing powers and thus cure Emily from her coma, and even if Oriko can give it to him, then he could create an Akuma with the power to heal and save his wife. But hey, it's already pretty obvious that these rules are plot convenience, otherwise the series would already be over by now.
As the Kwamis explain this whole mess to Gabriel, Shupu says, if I ask Santa Claus for a pair of socks, that's a wish. But if I want Santa to give me the skill of knitting socks, then Santa must first know how to knit so that he can teach me. And the truth, more than helping us, it confuses a bit.
So, does this mean that Oriko knows how to play soccer and that's why he was able to give Mark the ability to score goals? And when he gave him the power to multiply glasses, does he mean that Oriko knows how to multiply objects and taught it to Mark?
I don't understand.
It's revealed to us that Kwamis cannot reveal Ladybug's identity due to her being her holder. As far as we understand, being a guardian just means that she has all the Miraculouses and must hand them over to responsible people to use. On the other hand, being a holder means that you are the one wearing the Miraculous. Even according to Suhan in Furious Fu, it is a rule that guardians cannot be holders.
This means that Marinette is not only the guardian, she is also the holder of all those Miraculouses. This means that, off camera, she transformed with each of the Miraculous, becoming the holder of all the Kwamis. She probably did this so that no Kwami could reveal her secret identity in case they fell into the hands of Hawkmoth.
This is also revealed that the Miraculous can have more than one holder at a time. We say this because Marinette and Gabriel are currently the holders of most of the Kwamis. So if Ladybug wants to ask Fluff the identity of Hawkmoth, they wouldn't be able to tell either because Gabriel never renounces that Miraculous.
After being hinted to follow the scent of croissants, Gabriel arrives at Marinette's house. But let's see. How did Gabriel know that they were referring to the Dupin Cheng bakery? It's not like there is only one bakery in all of Paris. In fact, a follower, this Mary32, while analyzing this episode on Twitch, found that there are about 1,100 bakeries in Paris. Can you imagine Gabriel visiting one by one until he found the right one?
And well, continuing with the analysis... Yes! Lorem Ipsum!
Something curious is that Gabriel, after using the powers, quickly separates his Miraculous.
Divide. Divide. Divide.
This is because last time he nearly died from using too many Miraculouses at once.
Philip's account is ice_ring.off. And in fact, after the premiere of this episode, a fan created that account on Instagram to upload Philip's photos.
Have you noticed that Adrian is so good at being a statue? He already tricked Marinette and now he's dead.
Let's see. Ladybug, this is the second time you have Hawkmoth lying in front of you and you don't grab all the Miraculous you can. I mean, this time it was necessary for Ladybug to explain to Hawkmoth her entire plan to prove her alibi so that Gabriel didn't suspect that Marinette is Ladybug by going to her room. But couldn't you have explained that after taking the Miraculous? What's more, the alibi wasn't even that necessary if you better first take off the Miraculous, discover his identity, and send Gabriel to jail.
To prevent further damage, Gabriel directs Cat's cataclysm at his arm. However, I can't help but think, why didn't he direct it at the floor or at the Lucky Charm? Also, the worst is that when Ladybug did transform, her lucky charm disappears. Therefore, there is no longer a way for Gabriel to be healed.
And since Gabriel will apparently stay with his arm injured, perhaps Adrien will suspect that his father is Hawkmoth if he sees this injury. We can even see that is what seems to happen in the trailer for the episode Illusion.
Okay, surely many of you, just like us, didn't understand anything about Marinette's plan. So here we are going to explain all the mess that was put together. Marinette tells us that, since she became a guardian, she was worried that Hawkmoth would find one of the Kwamis and interrogate them to find out where she lives. So she devised this plan. Whew. Marinette's anxiety is incredible.
It occurred to her to set Hawkmoth on a treasure hunt, following her clues to lead him into her trap. First, in order for her to know that Hawkmoth was looking for her, she had the Kwamis take him to her room by giving him the hint to follow the smell of the croissants. And the moment Hawkmoth left, Ladybug will swing her way to the wax museum.
Later, for Cat Noir to find out about this, she made Hawkmoth go to the ice rink. Here, Philip was going to let them know that Hawkmoth was already there when he uploaded his photo with him, because previously Ladybug had recommended Philip to take photos with all the celebrities who went to his rink to attract more people. So, at the moment Cat Noir was notified of the photo, he, too, jumped his way to the wax museum to set up the trap.
Finally, for Hawkmoth to go to the wax museum, in the locker of the ice rink, Ladybug left him the photo of the statue of Cat Noir. He came directly to the statue believing that there was the next clue. But since Ladybug and Cat Noir had arrived before, they replaced the statue with the real Cat Noir, and that's how they caught him by surprise. Any questions? Cause there will be an exam on this at the end of the semester.
Now that Marinette's plan is clear to us, it's also clear to us that it was actually a very risky plan that depended on many things that were totally out of Marinette's control. Speaking specifically about the part where Philip had to upload the photo with Hawkmoth, at first, Marinette hoped that the skater had no principles and thought it was a good idea to take a photo with a criminal and upload it to his page as if it was a good thing.
Second, he trusted that Philip would upload the photo right at the moment that Hawkmoth was there and not decide to upload it later as Philip arrived at his house or maybe the next day, since at that time it was very nice to promote his ice rink. And thirdly, she fully trusted that at that moment the page would not go down, that the internet would not fail, that for some reason Cat Noir would not be busy and could see the photo instantly. Anyway,
all of this just because Ladybug didn't ask Philip directly to do her the favor of letting her know when Hawkmoth was there, but instead manipulated him into taking pictures with every celebrity he came across. And because she didn't want to explain her plan to Cat Noir from the beginning, but rather,
I promise one day you'll understand.
This episode and the previous one happen in parallel and are very intertwined, so we will tell them chronologically. First would be the multiplication episode that happens right after evolution. Here we see Suhan arriving with the duo. Both go to investigate with Felix and in the end they return to their houses. Marinette invites Alia for a sleepover, the same one from this episode. Here Monarch arrives, Marinette deceives him and have a fight at the Wax Museum where Gabriel receives the Cataclysm.
Then everyone returns home and we return to the episode Multiplication, where Adrien, fed up, resigns from being a model and Gabriel, who is hurt by the Cataclysm, accepts. Marinette and Alia continue their sleepover and that same night Adrien calls her to thank her for prompting him to stand up against his father. Then we see the montage from Destruction where Gabriel sets his plan in motion by pulverizing the Miraculouses. And finally is the final part of Multiplication with Tsurugi being akumatized to test the Alliance rings.
During the time skip, we see that Adrien sees his dad talking to Tsurugi. This had happened in Multiplication, where Gorilla had kicked him out of the place. But this time, it is Natalie who takes him out, which is pretty weird considering at that point she had already fallen out with Gabriel and apparently quit. It only remains to be seen if this is explained to us in a future episode.
In the end, we see that Gabriel puts the Kwamis in some capsules, which brings us to the question of why they don't get out of there if they can face through things. Gabriel may not necessarily be locking them up, since he can easily order them not to escape. So the option that occurs to us is that these capsules serve to extract the powers of the Kwamis and thus transmit them through the Alliance rings and give them to the Akumas, which in itself he can already do this only with Nuru, but well.
And that's the end of the video. We hope you like it. On this side you can watch our analysis of the old house thanks to them, or on the other side you can watch some animation errors on Miraculous Ladybug. Thank you very much for watching this video. We love you all, bye!